Hey everybody, and welcome to the final episode of the Breaking Bad Rewatch podcast. I am Simian Jimmy, joined as always by Rich McCoy.
That's right. We're here for the last Breaking Bad ever. Finally, we're getting to the shit finale.
Whoa!
just awful.
I'm playing my cards early.
And we've also got Florian Himzel.
He can't keep getting away with it. He gotta be stopped, you know?
And last and certainly least, Hartsy.
Yo, this is my first time watching the show, so I'm completely blind. Ignore the times I said I've watched it 8 times.
Were you shocked by this ending?
Oh yeah, totally shocked.
Now, we've been trying to see, what is the best section of Breaking Bad, and Hartsy and I seem to agree that this final 8-episode stretch is quite possibly the greatest segment. Would anybody disagree?
It's hard for me because I disagree with a lot of the things this section does. It's probably the best, put together from a filmmaking standpoint. I wouldn't say from a writing standpoint it's the strongest, but, it has the benefit of being the culmination of everything that's come before. It's just that I don't like a lot of the things they've thrown into this.
If I were to compare Breaking Bad to Death Note, and everybody loves Death Note,
all the way through.
Season 1, or the beginning, it sets up this conflict that we want to see the answer to. Elle versus Kira, Walt versus Hank. And then, at some point, the two of them who are going head-to-head trying to solve each other, they have to work together to stop some third guy who now also has the same power that, they have to go stop Gus. They're both trying to investigate Gus. And once that's dealt with, finally, we can see the conclusion. We can see who wins between these two characters. And then everything after that is kind of, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It climaxes early and then has 2 episodes to kind of play out the real finale, quote unquote. But to me, I think they dispatch of the Hank and DEA stuff a little bit too soon, and then what the series has to deal with afterwards is kind of not to my taste.
Yeah, the Nazis are basically mellow, is what I'm trying to say. And at least, Breaking Bad only gave us 2 episodes without Hank, whereas Death Note's hey, here's another 20. Now that the conflict you were interested in is over, let's do another whole season.
Mm-hmm. And it is very ballsy for a show to do something like that. It's just that basically it's all down to Walt versus Nazis in the last 2 episodes, and he doesn't even come around to versing the Nazis until halfway through that last episode.
Hartsy, we haven't heard much from you yet. What are your initial thoughts?
I like the Nazis. Nazis? No.
Cancelled.
No.
That's on the record.
No, I do like the characters that were introduced when the Nazis came. I like
Jack.
I like Uncle Jack, and I like Todd. Right. So and I like and I like how they the setup, right, is Walter wants to call them out to stop Jesse from getting his money, but he's been rused, and he calls them off the second he realized he was rused. But nope, they continue to come, and it was Walter's call that ended Hank's life, and I think that's an incredible setup, and I think that's that's a really good twist, and I enjoy them going forward as the main bad guys.
I like the fact that they put the Nazis in, and they just had the balls to make the Nazis very professional and almost not evil at all. I like how they come in and they don't threaten anyone's family particularly, and
no, they do. What are you talking about?
He doesn't consider Andrea and Brock to be human.
When they have Jesse locked up in the basement, they've got a picture of Andrea and Brock there. Meaning, we're going to threaten your family.
Yeah, but they're nice to Walter White Power. I think that's what Florian is trying to say.
Well,
they left him a whole barrel.
Jesse is a rat, and he also is the reason why the entire season has to happen this way. So I can accept that. Okay, I think they're more professional than Gus. I'm sorry. I think it's a bold statement that you put Nazis in the show, and they're more relatable than Gus.
And here's my problem with that. They are the most professional, quote unquote, until the very last episode, in which they make several mistakes that get them all killed.
Oh, they don't make mistakes. Come on, nobody's gonna expect that gun in that car. Come on.
Well, what mistakes do you think they made, Everidge?
I think you don't let the person drive the vehicle exactly where he wants it to be. Do not search the entire car. Do not search him to the extent to which you could find that he's got something on him that's like a communication device, essentially.
It's just
there's so many things that have to happen. I know, but
no, that's bullshit. Nobody's gonna be that careful.
But just searching his car is the basic thing you do.
Not even Gus would be that careful. Come on, if
they would search his car.
They didn't search his car.
If he's gonna drive it.
If Walt had the fucking machine gun in that scene in the desert, then he would have just killed everyone. I'm sorry, you're just wrong. They didn't.
But this is years later, Florian.
What does that have to do with anything? They didn't know about that scene.
What scene? What are you talking about?
The scene where Gus threatens Walt in the desert. They didn't search his car. He could have had a gun in there and killed them all. I'm sorry that you're pulling out such double standards. Oh, they should have checked the car. What, are you kidding me? He didn't have any connection to that car. There was no reason. It's ridiculous to think
it's his car because he put the machine gun thing into it.
Well, hey, to be fair, E-Rich, the whole show is about how good of a liar is Walt. Can he trick people? And he's doing the ultimate scheme. I'm just a weak, broke man. I have a new method for cooking meth, and I just want to give it to my Nazi friends. Why would they be threatened by him?
That itself is suspicious.
Is it? I mean, he just wants the money.
And also, is he not the man who took out Gus Fring? Is that not something that everyone knows about?
I think
they have a reason
knew,
to
but look what happened to him.
They have a reason at the very least to want to check him out and be okay, what does he have up his sleeve?
Well, they do take his keys and put it on the billiards table.
Sure, but check the car. Don't let him drive the car wherever he wants to.
This is ridiculous. Nobody's gonna go through that level of just paranoia. No,
this is a minute. It's an extra minute, Florian.
Yeah, unnecessary though. You wouldn't think that.
Clearly not unnecessary, because it was the death of all of them.
Well, yeah, but that probably wouldn't have happened.
I think
here's the thing.
Okay.
Throughout the show, they are shown as they are able to kill 10 people at the same time in prison, and it's you have to be so fucking precise with that kind of thing. But when Walter White, the man who destroyed the cartel's entire operation and killed Gus Fring, is involved for a second time in their operation.
Excuse me,
they do not check anything out.
Walt didn't destroy the cartel. That was Gus. What are you talking about?
Gus's entire operation was taken over by Heisenberg. And they know that.
Well, he made a new operation.
Well, could it be that this was inspired by...
He just co-opted... I think he co-opted theirs.
Was this inspired by real-life events for how they took down the actual Nazis? Because if I recall, there was an Allied forces spy went to Hitler and said, I have a new formula for gassing the Jews. I can save you 20%. And they said, oh, well, I will have to... And then he hit his key fob and a machine gun shot up the whole Nazi base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what happened in Inglourious Bastards. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: I will give the show all of those things just because that's the way they want to deliver it, and the rest of it, I think, is very well done drama. What I kind of can't abide is giving Walt such a win overall. I like the last moments with him and Jesse where he's do it yourself or whatever.
Should Jesse have killed him? Would that have been a better ending?
I mean,
I go back and forth with that because that is not going to help Jesse in any way. He was completely shattered from killing one person, Gale, and doing that to Walt as much as Walt has fucked him over and completely destroyed him. I don't know that killing another person is going to be the best for Jesse.
He wouldn't care about that. He already killed his girlfriend by accident by defying the Nazis. He's not going to care about killing Walt.
Well, he spends this entire season trying to kill Walt and Hank
or
interferes
Walt
and stuff.
In some way.
Yeah, I mean, when you find out that he watched your girlfriend choke to death on heroin vomit and he poisoned Brock, and then he asks you to shoot him in the head,
but I think the point there is that a clean death, like Jesse shooting him, is what Walt wants, and Jesse is not willing to give Walt what he wants.
Well, is it poetic that Walter dies from his own bullet wound?
Yeah, it's more like just going along with what the sensible ending for, like metaphor's sake, or for like making it a poetic
whole story
ending.
Is about Walt's self-destruction, and it was really he gave himself cancer, he poverty.
So like he gets the moment where he has to admit, it was because I was good at it. I was finally like being recognized for my talents. I was able to create an empire bigger, quote unquote, than Gretchen. Like he's always been defined by that essential being robbed of something that could define him, make his mark on the world, and this was his way to do that. The family concern was kind of secondary.
Well, I think it's all just so stupid. Like, there was no fucking reason that Walt would have to go in and kill the Nazis to kill Jess, even though the Nazis saved him and Jess tried to kill him. Like, what the fuck? And then Jess doesn't even have the gratitude
Why are you
to
calling
give him
him
a quick
Jess?
death.
Why are you calling him Jess in the last episode that he'll be...
Is that
We watched 5 seasons of this show for maybe the second time, and you can't get the character's name right.
Look,
He's
Cheese
giving him
is
a
just
nickname.
a bad character, okay?
Please just call him something different every time. Please.
But Average, I want to go back to your point about Vince decided to give Walt like a win. Like in this finale, he successfully, for all we know, convinces Gretchen and Elliot to give Walt
To
Jr.
get the money to
$10
them.
million.
Yeah.
He magically puts ricin into the packet of stevia, and then what's her name? Lydia just
Lydia's
so happens
sick
to
and
drink it.
dying. Although you say she's not going to die, she's going to get over it and be alive, so your waifu can live, right?
If only. I sure do hope. She did look very sexy when she was pale and sick in bed.
Well, I think he actually called her because he felt bad and he wanted her to have a chance to...
Lydia was calling Todd, and Walt answered Todd's phone.
Right, but still, he told her so she might be able to get an antidote. Who knows? It could happen, you know.
The turns the last episode, I think, especially takes where he's, or maybe that's Ozymandias. I can't remember. The point where he's calling Walt Jr. and telling him, like, I'm going to find a way to get you this money. I'm going to give it to your friend, and then he can give it to you. And Walt Jr. is just like saying, "Fuck you! You're not anyone we want to talk to." Like, that is so heartbreaking and such a perfect like encapsulation of everything that he's done that he said was for his family. His family no longer wants anything to do with him. Mm-hmm. That is such a perfect dissolution of Walt as a figure, and then to just find a way around it, I think, is a little bit like giving him too many wins.
I want to stay with this scene for 1 second because I think it perfectly encapsulates what I love about Breaking Bad, where it's a perfect combination of drama and comedy. Where we have the setup where the principal, Carmen, she's finally back. That, you know, one of the top waifus, of course, Carmen, rejected Walt all those years ago. But she says, your Aunt Marie's on the phone, and then Walt Jr.'s on the phone. Fuck you! I don't want you in my family anymore, you son of a bitch! And they're like looking in like, wow. So, as heartbreaking as it is, it's also very funny.
Hey, you know, he doesn't want to be known with a known shoplifter.
I know you stole that tiara. But we didn't finish the point. Is it morally reprehensible that they gave Walt like a victory in the finale? I think Better Call Saul's finale was an apology for this one.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I was rooting for Walt to at least have somewhat of a win at the end. I think
Why?
he deserves it.
I thought isn't the whole point that he's like this evil villain?
I mean, what does it matter? It's just Walter Jr. who gets the money. Like, it's not bad. Like, how do you have a problem with that?
Because if the arc of the show and what Vince wants me to think is, we see this good man who goes full Breaking Bad, and he's making all these evil, immoral decisions. Why do we want him to be successful at the end? Shouldn't he get his comeuppance like Tony Soprano?
I feel like he gets fucked enough. Like, you can't have him
in terms of evil.
Every single one of his plans is successful.
His accomplishments, the things he wanted to do from starting this entire thing, did ultimately come to pass. Like, everything he wanted to accomplish, he succeeded in. And like, it was known from the first episode that he had cancer and he was going to die. So there's already like a Walt is going to die hanging over the entire show. So no matter how he dies, it was just going to happen, like, at some point, right?
Yeah.
I know every character dies eventually, but, like...
Come on. He could have beaten the cancer.
I don't know. I think they play with the cancer too much for it to just completely go away and say Walt's going to live happily until he's, like, 97 or something.
I mean, it was going really well at his 51st birthday, but then when he was in hiding, I guess the added stress made it harder, and he was coughing a lot. But except for that, like... He was coughing earlier, and it was just like something stupid, like his lung was irritated or whatever.
Well, we were talking about this before the show, where some people have a fan theory that the entire finale is just Walt's imagination as he's sitting in the car in New Hampshire. And the reason why people think that is because the finale plays out way too perfectly for Walt.
Right.
Like, and I don't know if I can give Vince a bravo on that. Like, is it satisfying to have a storybook ending?
Well,
it's always like... Oh, go ahead.
I like how he also went on to like make up in his mind the entire Better Call Saul series, all while he was still dying in that cabin. You know, that's pretty impressive. Walt's got quite an imagination, even though he hates science fiction.
It would explain why he's so out of character as Gene when he's being mean to those people. I was like, that's not the Jimmy I know.
And it also explains all the little, like, continuity problems that arise up. It's just Walt's memory of things being wrong or him just making shit up.
Hartsy, what were you trying to say 10 minutes ago?
That's also why Saul looks too old. That's why everyone looks too old. It's because Walt only imagines... Oh, wait. No, that doesn't make sense at all. Because they look younger in Breaking Bad. Never mind.
Well, we've talked a lot about the end. Should we work through more of the beginning of the season? Because we open up with Walter White's house surrounded by fences. Now, is this art imitates life or life imitates art? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but this house in real life is currently all fenced up, and the owner is too fucking stupid to, like, turn it into a museum or...
I was gonna say, why would you not be, like, the famous moment in Breaking Bad when this like...
Yeah, they have a bunch of they have signs up in their yard like, get the fuck off our property, don't take pictures of our house. And I know this because my parents were just there last week and did take pictures at the house.
God damn it.
These people, they could make a fortune, like $200, take a picture,
move somewhere else.
You could throw
just
a pizza
rent that out
on
or something,
roof.
and then
you buy a different fucking house. And just turn this into a tour thing, you know?
Charge people $1,000 to throw the pizza onto the fucking roof.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These people are leaving money on the table, and they're just like begging people to harass them. And don't come to my famous house and take a photo. Fuck you.
And I'm sure at the time when they were filming, it wasn't such a big deal because Breaking Bad audience was only like a couple million people, so it wasn't such a big deal. But like, still. You gotta capitalize on this shit while the getting's good. Come on.
I mean, this is never gonna end. I hope they understand. Like, until the day they move out of that house, they're gonna be putting up with tourists parking outside there and taking pictures. So, I wonder what the inside of that house looks like, because it's almost certainly different than the set that they used for Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Hartsy, would you make a pilgrimage to New Mexico to hit up all of these locations?
I would love to one day. That'd be pretty swell. That'd be pretty cool.
Is the doghouse real? Because I would like to go get a hot dog there.
Oh yeah, it's real.
Wait, let's go to the doghouse. You know, that'll be the Breaking Bad Rewatch podcast fan meetup. We're all gonna meet at the doghouse.
Yeah, hell yeah! I can't wait for those hot dogs. That's amazing. Such a tasty looking sign.
I mean, we could also go to Twister's, the real world Los Polos Hermanos.
Do they have fried chicken and meth there?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that just reminded me. I don't know why it reminded me, but can everybody agree with me that the finale's title, Felina, is fucking retarded and shitty?
I don't even know what it means.
Exactly.
Is it like some Spanish, like, phrase or something that means ending? I don't know.
The thing I see, which is equally retarded, is that it's Effie is L-I-N-A.
Oh yeah, the elements.
Yeah, and they're like, well, this element, this one means tears because I guess there's like 1% of your tears has this element in it. Fuck you.
Off.
You're so fucking pretentious, Vince. Just call it finale or fuck, I don't know. Can we come up with a better title? Because Felina is as stupid as it can be.
It's gonna mean
El
something.
Finale.
Yeah, El Finalio. That would have been better. Or Negro y Azul 2? Or whatever that episode was called.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that opens with the mariachi band saying that this gringo doesn't know it, but he's already dead. So, tie that one in there. Felina makes no sense. Go ahead.
Saul Gone is such a better title for the ending of that show.
Yeah, and even that's a little bit cringe, but it's much better.
I mean, that's perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Felina doesn't have any meaning. It just comes up with the Breaking Bad episode.
Spanish for lady cat, which means
something
nothing.
like that.
All right, Vince fucked that up. Come on, dude, you gotta get something better.
It's hard to make a finale to a show this popular or this successful, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10 finale. Could have been better.
Oh, most fans absolutely love the ending. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because most fans love Walt. So like anything that's gonna give Walt
I love
some
Walt.
kind of
Walt's
win.
based.
When I was like 18 or whatever age I was when the finale aired, I remember trying to, I had some copium going as, God, that was the perfect ending. It couldn't have been any better. And now that 10 years later, I'm thinking, it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I just remember mostly liking it, but having like a little thought in my mind being like, that there's a couple of things that.
How did you like that he made the gun to swivel just like in fucking Scarface or whatever that was
great.
called?
Like the shit he does to like rig that up. It's a very good Breaking Bad solution for something that it's just basic mechanics of how you would get that thing to do that. So that part's perfectly fine.
Okay, resuming from episode 1 of this section. Directed by Bryan Cranston. Hats off to him. Great job, Bryan. Anybody else think that the 5-minute scene of Badger and Skinny Pete making up Star Trek fan fiction?
It's a bit much.
I do not believe that these characters like these shows. Like, this is stuff that Vince likes.
Yeah.
Vince likes Battlestar Galactica. These 25-year-old stoners are not watching that shit. And even Jesse gets bored and leaves the room, and then the scene keeps going.
I gotta look up when Battlestar Galactica was out, because it's possible that that would have been on at that time, and that they would have been fans of it. That might check out to me.
But
they just don't seem like the type to be sitting there watching thoughtful science fiction. I imagine these guys are watching Fast and Furious movies while getting stoned.
Well, I guess Badger just is a man of culture, he just puts on the Star Trek when he's high. That's how he gets.
Battlestar Galactica, the new series ended in 2009, so it would have been very tough at that time for them, for the characters. So,
well, anyway, that was a 5-minute scene that I absolutely could have done without. We have Jesse smoking weed in Saul's lobby, and that's the whole setup for we eventually need to take the weed out of his pocket so that Jesse can magically connect the dots and figure out that they stole the rice and cigarette in the same way. That might be the third dumbest thing in Breaking Bad.
I was gonna say, do you think there's so many unlikely, they just have to do things to the characters so that they can make the connections and learn things that they wouldn't know otherwise? It just seems like they kind of let's wrap these things up.
I love that scene. I think it's perfect. He's standing there at the bus stop, inspecting his cigarettes. He realizes that one is missing, and that Saul probably took it. So he goes back. The music is all intense and scary. And he beats the shit out of Saul. That's funny.
But let's go through his line of logic here. So first of all, he realizes, my bag of weed is gone. He does not know where it is. It could be anywhere. Could have dropped it, but no, he somehow correctly comes to the conclusion.
It was fairly obvious that Huel stole it.
How's that obvious? He's never.
Yeah.
It's not obvious that a giant fat man is an expert pickpocket. He has not seen Better Call Saul. He doesn't know that the battery was slipped into Chuck's fucking pocket, okay? He doesn't know this shit.
He just bumps into me. He's like, "Excuse me," and he pulls it out. It's pretty funny, though.
But so he correctly arrives to the conclusion that Huel stole his weed, and then he somehow figures out Huel must have also stolen my rice and cigarette on behalf of Walt, who then didn't even use the rice into poison Brock and poisoned him with something else. That's his logic. And he's so pissed he goes and punches Saul in the face.
Well, to be fair, Saul specifically wanted to get rid of that weed repeatedly, so, I mean, that part is checking out at least.
Saul is a dog shit lawyer. Whatever happened to confidentiality, okay? If Jesse is accusing Walt of these things, Saul's job, the thing he does for a living, is to protect his client and deny. Jesse has no reason to... Yes! You say, no, it's not true!
You think lawyers are gonna take a beating for you? What, are you kidding me?
He's an lawyer. What do you You're gonna admit? Oh yeah, you're right. I helped your girlfriend's son get poisoned. Now you'll stop punching me.
I mean, he did stop.
Yeah, no, I just think that whole line of logic, it's as convoluted and shitty as the two planes crashing into each other in the sky.
I love that plot, man.
I mean, he does say, "I didn't know he was going to do that," so I think that probably makes him want to beat him less. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems fine.
Just not a fan of some of these choices. Maybe I was too quick to say this is the best section of Breaking Bad.
Well, see,
good thing it wasn't recorded.
The show kind. Oh no, yeah,
that was in the other one, I think.
Oh, we did at the very beginning.
The show like conditions you to think like this is the highest like stress level. It's the highest like dramatic fulfillment of everything we've seen. But I think it just plays too many games with like delivering information to characters or conveniently making sure that characters appear where they need to be, and most people just go along with that. But I think when you dig a little bit closer into the show, it's not as fulfilling as other more organic parts of the show.
How did you like the scene where Jesse wants to meet Walt, and then there's this really scary looking dude and he gets scared, but then it just turns out it was just some father, with his kid?
Yeah, that is good, because it's just he's rightfully cautious, but then I think Walt was really... Did Walt have the ricin with him or something? Like, what was Walt's plan there?
No, I think
they had guys around.
I don't think did he just legit just go unarmed, unprepared, and he really thought he could just talk Jesse out of it?
No, I think he's just really gay for Jesse. I don't know.
What are you saying, E. Rich?
I thought he had guys like around to like go kill Jesse then.
In the square when he's going to meet him at the bench?
No way.
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, no, he fucking killed a million Nazis to save Jesse. He wouldn't kill Jesse if there was.
That's later on. That's later on.
Well, I think really, Walt truly believes if he just has a face-to-face conversation with Jesse, he can manipulate him like he always has.
But doesn't he know he's working with the cops at that point?
No, he doesn't.
No, of course
he doesn't know. Okay.
I don't think he knows that until Hank and Jesse show up together in the desert.
He's still on the fence about hurting or killing Jesse, because even earlier Saul floated the possibility of putting him down. And he's like, no, let me talk to him. I can make him better. I can make him see straight. So I think at this point he still does not want anything bad to happen to Jesse.
Oh yeah, and in the hotel when Skylar's having her Lady Macbeth moment, she's basically telling him like he's a rabid dog, go kill Jesse, and Walt has to tell him no, or tell her no.
Yeah, and then he specifically, like, after that scene, then Jesse threatens him, and then Walt finally makes the choice, I gotta kill him, and then he calls up the Nazis.
Yeah. It's after...
I don't know.
He had no plan to kill him before. Yeah.
I know it's in a public place, but, like, to me, there's something set-up-y about him sitting, like, out in the middle of there, and, like, they're either gonna kidnap Jesse or... I don't know.
Well, it goes back to what Jesse says to Hank, where he's luckier than you, and this was luck. If Jesse does not get scared by the bald man waiting for his daughter, and he goes and sits next to Walt, he's recording the whole thing. Like, Hank would have had Walt dead to rights from that conversation. So it's just another example of the universe and luck being on Heisenberg's side.
I mean, that probably would have been preferable. Like, if he had just gotten arrested, he probably would have had a less stressful death, you know?
Luck in shows is best played as a pendulum, where you get really good luck, but you also get really bad luck. And so, like, the stuff where Walt is completely blindsided by the Nazis coming back and everything going to shit there, it is a really good implementation of, like, things going bad for him.
Yeah, but there's no way that he was going to kill Jesse, because every time that Walt planned something, we usually see it as the audience, and there was nothing that made us think that he was going to kill Jesse in that square, so I don't buy it.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think he had any intentions of hurting or killing him.
All right, then what about kidnapping him? Like, they would just throw him
that would have also been set up.
Maybe if he could not convince Jesse in the way he thinks he could, he would have went to violence. Maybe he just wanted to see how the conversation went. Is it true that this section of Breaking Bad, pound for pound, has created more viral GIFs / GIFs if you're retarded? Because we've got you can't keep getting away with it. We've got, of course, Walt reacting to Hank's
falling
death
on the ground.
Very famous GIFs. There's so many moments where I was like, I've seen that on Twitter 100 times.
That's because... Sorry, go ahead, Hartsy.
No, you go ahead.
That's because there were the most eyes on the show watching it live during that, like, half season of it, as, like, the finale was winding up. And, like, Reddit and Reddit and 4chan especially were, like, rabid about the show at that point. So you've got the most people making the most content about something at the same time.
Damn, they could have really gone back to the previous seasons and dug up some gold, you know? Maybe they could have had reaction gifs of Tuco snorting mess, you know? When it was something really good.
You get the most like shares and likes on something that's like relevant at the time.
Wait, so when you're reviewing your girlfriend's pussy, you don't send her the gif of Tuco saying tight, 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 tight.
Well, I do that too.
Yep, that's the secret one. Only for the ladies.
Perhaps my favorite line of the entire show is Jesse saying, Mr. White's gay for me. Everyone knows that. Very well might be true.
That's gotta be like a for the audience type thing, where it's like, of course there's like fanfic and shit where they're like lovers and shit, and the writing staff knows that, so they're gonna like slyly wink at that.
As far as Vince is concerned, it is canon.
Yep, it happened.
Hartsy has sent us a great screen cap of Skyler and Marie's faces when they find out Hank is dead. Marie is a very ugly crier. My God.
Yeah.
That actress really knew how to yuck it up.
Betty Brant.
Yeah.
What does it mean? What's he saying?
He's saying mustarded.
I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay, speaking of things I don't understand, we have Todd, one of the greatest characters in history.
Yeah.
He trained under Heisenberg and helped him make meth side by side for 3 full months, and they made like $80 million worth of meth together. Okay, this dude, he's working with legitimately the greatest chemist in the world, making his signature product. He's taking notes. He's taking it seriously. He doesn't even watch the Three Stooges. He's studying it up. But now that he's working solo, his meth is only 76% pure. Even Jesse was making, the high 90s on his own. Is Todd stupid?
I think, like, everything we're supposed to get from Walt and his methodologies is there is some, like, sweet science or, like, amazing talent that he has bestowed on Jesse because they work together for so long together, or at least long enough that he's able to pick up on it. And I think Todd just hasn't had the time or the attention, like, to fully grasp what Walt is doing.
Yeah, it's just when he was in chemistry class, you know, he thinks he doesn't know anything, but he knows it all, you know. That's why he became a mess cook in the first place, Jesse. You know, he's just following in the footsteps of his great mentor all along.
The show's saying that there's a literal art to it, and like Jesse is able to pick up on that art, but Todd is too much of a psychopath to.
Well, to be honest, there could be like any one thing that he could get wrong that would like mess with everything.
I guarantee you, if Lydia said, Todd, if you make 90% pure meth, I will blow you. I guarantee the next day he'd have 99%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Lydia,
I mean, you wouldn't, am I right?
Was Todd being in love with Lydia? Was that hinted at all in the last half season, or is it like entirely here in this half season?
Did they even meet before?
I don't know that they met before now, because it was really just Lydia working with Walt and the like triumvirate.
Yeah, I guess she only met like in this very season. Mm-hmm. But I really like how he convinces them to start cooking meth again, despite the fact that they have $80 million, just because he likes Lydia. And then Jack is like, "Yep, the heart wants what it wants," you know, and that's right. How all that happened.
I think just making the argument of just more money is better. That's how rich people think. Like,
nope.
You're gonna say no to more money.
Wants it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about Jesse's torture here?
By the Nazis?
Yeah, like he gets taken by the Nazis and he's stuck in the little pit. He's stuck eating fucking Americone Dream ice cream.
I fucking hate it. This is one of my least favorite like points of the show, because I know that I think the writers kind of don't really know what to do for Jesse for large swaths of the show, but completely robbing him of any kind of personal like choice, or like it's essentially just to make it so that Walt coming back for him is a heroic thing for Walt to do. To me, at least. It's some point in which Walt can redeem himself to Jesse so that Jesse does not, and like Jesse still despises him, but he did something for Jesse to completely free him in his absolute moment of just nihilistic like dread, and that is worth Walt having done all this. And I
Walt
hate
is
that.
redeemed because the Nazis were so much worse. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think the show is interesting in that it posits the Nazis as a group that the most evil Walt would work with and not have a problem with working with, but then it just provides a foil for him to redeem himself against. It's like in Star Wars. I'm sorry to talk about Star Wars because I know nobody likes Star Wars. It's like in Star Wars when Darth Vader gets to kill the Emperor, who is the most evil person. So even though Darth Vader has done a bunch of evil shit, he's less evil than the Emperor. So dispatching that villain makes him better.
I mean, I think Darth Vader would have been just as evil, but I mean, whatever.
No, but he's redeemed at the end of the movie. Like, his ghost shows up and he's hanging with everybody else.
And so he would have just gone and ruled the galaxy with his son, you know?
No.
That was his plan.
No,
in terms of
you have to make the sacrifice.
In terms of karmic justice, has Jesse done anything to deserve a full year of torture porn?
No, and that's why I think that's why I like it so much. He's like such an innocent character, and all this terrible shit is happening to him. It's awful, but it's also like,
what has he done, Florian? What has he done to deserve that? And why did Walt not get a similar punishment?
Who was it that he said that someone had a family member who started watching only the last season of Breaking Bad?
My grandma started like season 4, I think.
I swear, if she watches it, she must think that Jesse's just such an asshole for no reason all the time. Like, Walt is trying so hard to make it work with Jesse, and he's the one person he's not willing to kill. And all the time, Jesse's just lashing out, throwing away money to cause trouble for everyone, and trying to get the cops involved, like the number one thing that you're not supposed to do as a criminal. And he breaks all the rules just so he can try to get his petty revenge, and it blows up completely in his face.
No, that's not what Jesse was doing. He was trying to do the first ever Mr. Beast video, and he was handing wads of cash to homeless people. Like, Mr. Beast video, throwing $20,000 wads of cash out my car window. Like, what, you think that's so evil?
Yeah, I honestly think he should have been tortured
bad.
worse, but that's just me.
Wow.
Yeah, for being
Castrated
Mr. Beast.
and
I mean, I guess he was a rat, but is that the worst thing you can be in one of these shows? Is a rat to the police?
I mean,
Well,
like, objectively, yes, because he has caused,
Just-
like, all of the events of the last season to happen.
snitches get stitches. But like with Jesse, was there intentionality behind him like wanting them to get caught by throwing that money? I thought it was just like he's just so lost and unsure of what to do, and he doesn't really actually need that money, so he's just like throwing it away, like literally throwing it away.
He's desperately trying to give it to Mike's granddaughter and to the
right.
motorcycle kid's family, and when they tell him he
Right.
can't, he like just loses it.
Yeah. Like I don't think he's like
He-
trying to get them caught or
No,
something.
he
He's
does it
just, like,
to spite
Yeah,
them
okay, good.
specifically.
No, I don't. I think he's trying to do some good in the world because he feels so empty.
No,
inside.
exactly.
Oh yeah, a hobo will definitely do good with that money. There's no way he will spend it all on drugs.
I'm not even gonna explore the psychology of Florian sarcasm here because it's too dark. Speaking of too dark, my God, did they have to execute Andrea? For fuck's sake, why is this getting so fucked?
They really fucking hate those characters. Like
That
they
was
put
a fun
Andrea
scene.
through so much fucking shit, and then to suddenly just execute her like that. They fucking hate everything. Like it's all about torturing Jesse in these episodes, and
It's almost overkill. And then
it
even
raises my hackles.
in the Jesse movie, like they really dive into like his back is nothing but scars and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so like meanwhile Walt is like sitting there watching Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium twice.
I love during that scene where he's like 2 copies of Mr. Megorium's Wonder.
I've talked about this several times and I'm willing to do it again. How incompetent, like even if you're not a movie fan, surely you understand you don't need 2 DVDs of the same film. Like I paid like $250,000 for this service. I expect at least a little bit of professionalism here.
It makes me think that he just went to a Goodwill or something where they have like a shitty DVD section, and he just like grabbed everything there and then just threw it in a bag.
I just
and
grabbed a big
that
handful.
was all he thought about.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
Monkey, you have a shelf full of Freddy Got Fingered copies that you willingly bought every single one, right?
Oh, so true. Yeah, I can't
And
get
I
enough.
believe Monkey goes door to door and throws copies of Freddy Got Fingered to people's lawn.
Is that what I should do? Start driving around, throwing them out the window?
Yes, enriching
Mr.
people's
Beast.
lives.
That'd be good.
Yeah, just sit on a merry-go-round and toss them in all directions. Yep.
Now, here's my question. Is there any other piece of media in history where putting a tracker on somebody's car is so important to the plot?
I can't
I'm sure
think
there's
of
spy
one.
stuff that has done this, but yeah, it's incredibly
Yeah,
important.
even here, like in episode 1, Walt walks into Hank's garage and says, "Hey, I found this tracker on my car." You know, every single season we got to have some car tracking shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there were only the 2 occasions. Were there more?
Yeah, there's, I mean, everything with putting it on Gus's car,
Gus,
and
yeah.
then in Better Call Saul, Mike finds one in his gas cap.
And then he checks each gas cap from that point forward.
Mm-hmm. We spend 10 minutes of him deconstructing his car in the junkyard. Can't wait till we rewatch Better Call Saul.
Hell yeah.
Better Call Saul, nuts and bolts.
I mean, I guess they
Okay.
had to bring it back for Better Call Saul, but there's only 2 occasions in Breaking Bad.
But I'm asking, is there any other piece of media where it comes up this often?
I guess not. I guess
say
this
no.
is the only one. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if we're here yet in the episode, but the moment when Walt tries to pin everything on Hank is very suspect to me. Like I don't buy that is a worthy enough plot that Hank would just not be able to do anything.
Yeah, Hank
that on.
is the ASAC, okay?
Uh-huh.
He's the boss. Who's firing Hank for a lie made by, like, Heisenberg? Basically, like, the main evidence is that Hank's medical bills were paid with Heisenberg's drug money, but surely ignorance to that fact makes him an innocent man.
I mean, it's pretty hard to say you got ignorance if it's like 100,000 or however much. Like, that's a lot of money to.
But also, he's a drug kingpin. In Walt's story, he's a drug kingpin.
Yeah, who's using Walt as like the cook?
Who has to use Walt's money?
Yeah, why wouldn't the kingpin have his own money?
That makes no sense. It's so stupid.
All the money was
oftentimes
stolen.
contemplated suicide.
Yeah, I needed my slave cook's money to pay for my own medical bills. Okay.
It's so stupid, and it's just, why would he not show that video to Gomi? Be like, no, this is bullshit, right? This is just Walt trying to pin it all on me when I have all of the evidence. Like, as soon as you start breaking down all of the things, it doesn't hold water. And why he would be completely paralyzed by this just doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I think it's dumb.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they
a halfway. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, he could have just handed this in and said, "Yeah, look, he admitted it. He cooked all the mess." Like in court, that would have worked out fine. I don't think that
you're saying he cuts out all talks about Hank being the real mastermind.
I mean, he could probably disprove those easy enough. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, but it makes sense. Hank had a pretty good plan. I guess we really gotta give him some credit for how he splattered Jesse's brains there. It was pretty good.
I don't know. If that was a 1-episode detour, I'd be fine with it, but it paralyzes Hank's ability to move on this for the next couple episodes. So,
well, while we're dissecting the ingenuity or whatever of the ingeniousness of these schemes, what do we think of the scheme of? I took a blurry 240p photo of money in a barrel, and now you're going to drive directly to your secret spot.
I love it. I love that entire
I'm trying to think there, because at that moment, wasn't he incredibly, like, fearful of things? Like,
yeah, I go ahead.
Walt is usually a very rational actor, and is, like, willing to look through all of the steps. But I think he's like super high stress at that point, and that is like the confirmation of all of his worst fears. So I think he would act on it, but it's so
he's on the phone with Jesse, and he literally out loud on a phone call says every single felony he's ever committed. He's like, Jesse, I know that we killed Gail, and then I did this and this, and here's my list of crimes,
and I have an unpaid traffic ticket, all that shit.
Yeah. Walt is not thinking clearly on any level.
Mm-hmm. I like that they show that even this very smart person, Heisenberg, can get totally scammed by just a fake picture, okay?
Even the fake said at the end, I was worried you'd be too smart to fall for it, but I knew you would freak out the moment you thought your money was in danger or something like that.
Yeah, the funniest is we see Walt driving like 120 miles an hour, and Jesse says, "You better hurry, I'm starting to burn the money." And Walt yells, "No! Like, the delivery on those no's was so funny.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, just like that one time where he had to drive really fast to get that mess to Gus, you know?
True.
What a comeback.
So Walt realizes he's been tricked. He's sitting up on top of like a rock, and he's got his little, pea shooter handgun, and he sees the sirens are coming for him. The two cops come. The Hank and, all of them are there. He realizes he's been beat, he's fucked, he's not going to have a shootout with Hank. In episode 1, when he hears the sirens coming of the fire trucks, but he thinks it's the police, he puts the gun, in his mouth.
Yeah, to his head. And,
he pulls the trigger. So he's willing to commit suicide there instead of be arrested. What has changed over the course of the show that he now does not just shoot himself in the head?
I don't know.
Because his family can't get the money at that point, right?
I mean, probably be a pretty low chance of them getting it when he gets arrested.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he can, like, arrange something with Saul, right?
Maybe.
But the money's right there. They have the money, too. Like, they're gonna dig up that money.
Who has the money?
Hank was gonna get a crew out there to dig up the money. He let.
I don't think they have they don't have the actual location of that, do they?
Yeah, they do. It was right where they cooked the first time.
Yeah. He would have known that it was buried out there by that point.
Okay.
But also another question I had was when the Nazis are about to execute Hank and Walt is trying to negotiate, he was willing to trade the entire $80 million fund for Hank's life. So, like, that's pretty major.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think even like his love for his, I don't know, secondary family, I don't think that's enough to like cover up for all the shit that he's done for his primary family.
I mean, it's worth really something. It's worth something that he's willing to give up literally all he's worked for the life of the person who's trying to take him down.
Yeah, but the question is, do we buy it?
Yeah, I don't think that matches up with everything else we've seen.
It. What are you talking? Like, he was literally doing it. Like, they weren't going to dig up that money until he told them about it.
I feel like it's just a desperation play at that point. Like, he just sees no other way out, and then things go.
Like, what's the play? He could have just not told them, and they would have just, like, gotten him out of the situation, and he would have been fine, and Hank would have been dead.
He doesn't want Hank to die. Like, that's the thing. He.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, what's not to buy? He definitely did it to save Hank.
I don't think he would give up his entire fortune and be penniless now just to save Hank after all this shit that's been going down.
Yeah, he had several chances to do exactly that, Florian.
Did he?
Yeah, like, as soon as Hank knows what's up, like, he should, according to you, he should just be like, you know what, Hank, you're right.
I mean, he didn't resist arrest or anything. Like, he could have tried to shoot them.
Well, I'll say also, I think in my humble opinion, the greatest, perhaps not just in Breaking Bad, perhaps the greatest cliffhanger in any episode of television is when the fucking Nazis roll up right after Walt's been arrested, and they just start fucking shooting, and then Walt is, the car's being riddled with bullets, and Walt like falls in between the cracks of the seat, and then it just smash cut to executive producer Vince Gilligan.
That is a Bravo Vince moment right there.
Like that whole week leading up to Ozymandias was the most hype anybody's ever been in television history.
Yep. It's such a great culminating moment of just absolutely everything going off, and Breaking Bad is so good at formulating those things.
And really, I feel like Ozymandias is the perfect finale, and the other two are kind of like a coda, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because if the story from episode 1 is Hank versus Walt, the story ended there.
No,
I guess we need a resolution with Jesse, I guess.
Well, I definitely really like the parts where it's Hank versus Walt. That's just really good cinema, really.
Yeah, so after this discussion, I'm taking back what I said. This is not the best section of Breaking Bad. The confession tape is stupid. Like, the dinner scene when the guy keeps trying to give him guacamole or whatever, and Marie says, just kill yourself, Walt.
That is so fucking funny. When she just looks at him, part. Why don't you just kill yourself?
Yeah, it just keeps coming back, every time there's someone telling Walt to kill himself,
Yeah. So there's plenty of good parts, but I think a lot of the jumps in logic and the stupid decisions might drag this one back down a little bit for me.
I totally agree. Hartsy, is this your favorite section of Breaking Bad?
Yep, still is my favorite. It still is my favorite.
How do you react to any of the things we've just said about those, those logical leaps? Or
I acknowledge that you're probably right, but I have too much love for this show and this part of the show to think logically. So
that's fine. You're allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they have like logical issues all along? Like
it did. I think there's a certain amount of like buy-in when things are not like the highest stakes ever that the show has possibly set forward, that those other logical leaps you can kind of go along with. But when you're at the very end of something and it's taking those kinds of leaps, it's something that I'm less forgiving of, because you are ending this thing. It should be the most looked at thing that you're ever doing, and not allowing for those kinds of things to happen.
Let me break down something that TV shows do that I kind of hate, and that's when characters seemingly just stop talking to each other for like hours at a time, and like they'll continue their conversation after they've been, because they have to go
something
to the next
bad has
scene.
happened.
So basically, here's what I'm talking about. Walt goes to the home of Gretchen and Elliot because he wants to give him this money, and he says, hey, I'm going to threaten you with this little cheese knife. Or no, Elliot pulls out the little cheese knife to threaten Walt, and he says, you need a bigger knife. I like that. But then he says, hey, I've got something in my car parked down the hill. I need you to help me bring it into the house. So they all, I guess, go out to his car. He drives it up and parks right in front of their house. And then all of the money is laid out on the table. At that point, Gretchen says, or Gretchen or Elliot, one of them say, like, where did this come from and why is it here? You tell me they didn't ask that question.
What do you think?
Like, you all just spent 30 minutes walking outside, dragging this money into your house, laying it out neatly on your table, and you're just now asking a question about it?
We should have stacked it up in a big tower and played like Money Jenga or something.
They should have opened the trunk of the car, seen the money, and then asked that question.
Yeah, or maybe it should have just stayed in the barrel and he would have just pulled the barrel in. That might have made more sense, you know?
I don't think he could fit the barrel in his car.
That's entirely just a filmmaking thing you have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, there's a good joke in The Simpsons about that. Like you say like the beginning of a sentence, and then they're like suddenly in a plane, and they say the final word of the sentence.
Yeah,
and they're like, it's kind of weird that we sat in silence for the last hour.
Exactly.
They're just diligently piling up that money, you know. They're really letting it sink in.
Yeah, they're completely mute as they do it.
Awkward silence, just stacking money very slowly.
Also, am I to believe that Badger and Skinny Pete are the greatest assassins west of the Mississippi? Like, when was that introduced?
I think they just had to hold laser pointers, right?
Yeah, they were laser pointers. Did you think they were guns?
I was trying to pull a Hartsy, like, misunderstanding the plot. You guys don't think that's a great gag, that Badger and Skinny Pete are the greatest assassins?
He pays them the same amount too, right? Like he gives them each $10,000 just to do that.
Yeah, just to point laser pointers at them. Are Gretchen and Elliot going to actually like be living with fear for the next 2 years of these fucking laser pointers? Because I'm guessing they never.
I think they would definitely like find a private security company. They'd find someone to be like, hey, make sure that there's no one. They'd figure out it's absolute bullshit. I don't know that they would stop trying to give the money to Walt Jr. and stuff, but like, I don't know. I think that's a situation that falls apart the minute that Walt kind of leaves and the laser pointers turned off.
I mean, I don't think that makes sense because, like, it would be pretty simple. Like, the assassins wouldn't have to show themselves, like, until Walt Jr. turns 18. So there's nothing that the security could fucking do because they wouldn't have to watch them.
Florian, they are rich. Whatever they do, they can hire people to like come with them, guard their bodies at all times wherever they go. Find out that there aren't fucking assassins.
That's fucking insane. Why are you talking so insane? Like, did you know that presidents sometimes get assassinated? What are you fucking talking about?
They do?
In the 60s.
But really, this is a completely empty threat. There is no assassin out there. And after a couple of years of thinking about it, do you really think they're going to ultimately commit this, what I assume is a crime, like taking
they're
drug
accessories
dealers
to a crime. Yeah.
Like I don't think... Has Vince himself weighed in on this? Do we think that the plan works and that Walt Jr. actually gets this money?
He was asked this on a panel once, and he said that in his mind, it does work out, in his mind. But
in his mind, also, Walt magically kills every Nazi, and he puts ricin inside of a sealed packet for Lydia to eat. So I think Vince has a very romanticized view of Walt and his actions.
You think it's not hard to reseal a packet?
I don't have a syringe.
Florian, your challenge is to get some ricin powder or some kind of powder.
I can't do it.
Put it into a syringe.
He replicated the glue that they used perfectly, okay?
Put it into a syringe and then try to do that.
You know, that is a good idea. Go get like a sugar packet and try to put salt in it and then come back to me.
Yeah.
And then you have to eat it.
It's not going to happen. I don't believe it.
I mean, like, Walt's supposed to be really good at this kind of shit. I believe in him.
Oh, I just saw in my notes something that made me laugh. When Badger and Skinny Pete get in the car, why does Walt demand the laser pointers back? What the fuck does he need him for?
Those laser pointers probably cost a couple $100. He wants to get his money back.
He's on a suicide mission!
He can still go back. He's got time.
What is it? Like, he just gave all his money away. What's he being frugal for? What the fuck?
Maybe after he pulls off his big plot, he plans to, like, go outside and, like, point lasers and airplanes or something.
Yeah. Like, they're never used again. Why the fuck did he want him back so bad?
Yeah, it's definitely not to establish that they were laser pointers. It was definitely because he had a plan for them.
So once again, the writing fails because they don't know a better way to convey the information.
He should have pulled the same thing on the. He should have like had Badger and Skinny Pete with like 10 laser pointers, like pointing at all the Nazis, and he'd be like, "I win."
You know what? I think I'm starting to get a little pissed off about this poisoning shit, because the same thing happened to Brock. Like, they just expect us to believe Walt has magic poisoning powers and can just slip poison into shit. Like, he somehow snuck into an elementary school and snuck poison into a juice box. He magically put fucking rice inside of this packet. I don't believe any of this shit.
There was no juice box mentioned. I'm sure he found a way. Come on.
Vince Gilligan in an interview said he thinks Walt put the berry juice in the juice box. I swear to God.
He did say that.
Like, he doesn't know for sure if that's how he did it.
Well,
okay?
then who fucking knows then?
Yeah, Walt found a way. Okay.
Found a way.
I like that Uncle Jack's, really his Achilles heel is that he's an honorable Nazi, and his sense of honor is what has him defeated. Like, you think I lied to you? Well, I'm gonna make a huge mistake to prove you wrong.
Saul, we know that Nazis are honorable men.
I mean, Uncle Jack literally was.
Whatever I say.
Uncle Jack was so offended by being accused of lying that he got his entire crew fucking killed.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like
he's just a sweetheart, you know. He just wants to do right by everyone.
When he tells Uncle Jack, like, your partner, Jesse, and then like Jack for like 5 minutes goes on about, 100% partner, right?
Yeah.
This guy I've tortured, right? My partner.
Does anybody else? Does Uncle Jack remind anybody of Mac's dad from It's Always Sunny?
Kind of.
For a while, I thought it was the same actor.
He also reminds me of what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Gamora.
No. Who's Peter's dad? Not Ego. The blue guy.
Oh, Whistleman.
Blue guy?
Yeah, Whistleman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess.
That's played by Rourke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Rourke or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've been going for an hour, so do we have any, other things we need to talk about from this section?
There's one more moment I really like that I want to talk about, and it's when Walt is confessing on the phone that he did everything, and he's putting on this like super villainous voice, and he's almost doing Benicio del Toro in Escape from Dannemora, where he's just going, "I did everything."
Yeah, even as a teenager watching it, I was not filtered. I understood the gambit, obviously. It seems pretty obvious to anybody, but I saw a surprising amount of people who were like, wow, why did Walt just become such an asshole all of a sudden? Like, are you kidding me? He's making sure Skylar's okay, stupid
He's making
fuck.
the sacrifice play. He's making sure Skylar doesn't suffer any...
Saul says it specifically that he did that to exonerate them.
Yeah, well, that was
People
in a
are
later
fucking
episode,
stupid.
wasn't it?
Ah, okay. How fucked is it that Saul is supposed to get witness protection, and then he has to deal with Walt again? He never gets a break.
Yeah, what is up with that? So the vacuum repair guy, he's all professional. He would never make a mistake or nothing. Everything has to be by the book. But then he has these two customers just hanging out in the same room together. What happened to confidentiality or privacy, dude?
Yeah,
That's how it goes. Yep. So it's
I think that
room.
I think that business isn't all it's cracked up to be. It doesn't sound like the most primo A1 experience.
No, it's completely illogical because Jesse gets to pick that he wants to go to Alaska, but Walton and Saul are just forced to go wherever
Made
the dude
to go,
wants.
yeah.
Why does he
Right.
get to just pick where they go? And he just so happens to send Saul to fucking Kim Wexler's hometown? No!
The only thing that
Isn't that what he chose?
He made a joke, if I'm lucky, I'll be managing a Cinnabon, and then that's literally what happens.
That's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
This shit is
he obviously
crazy.
asked for it.
I
Come on.
don't know if that was a request. I think it was,
It was
being a little
listening
too
in.
cute on behalf of the writers.
I like the little time frame where Walt and Saul have to bunk in the same room. I just wish we got an extended scene of them talking about time travel for some reason.
Time travel, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we got it in Better Call Saul, you know?
And classic
Gotta keep
Austrian
something.
sense of humor, once again, at the end of this show.
So
Did I-
one
did
of
I
my
get
problems.
jokes?
Hartsy was making a joke, and it
Oh.
it just flew right over Florian's head.
Well,
Typical.
one of my problems with the finale and a lot of finale, I feel like I don't get enough closure for a lot of the characters, and that was one of my problems with the Breaking Bad finale initially. Is that like the status of the money for Skylar and Walt Jr. I felt was a little bit up in the air. Like you're supposed to think that it totally goes correctly with Gretchen and Elliot, but I have my problems with that. And so like Jesse just rides off into the sunset. We don't know whether he gets to Alaska or not. El Camino does wrap some of those things up, and then I do like the bit with God, why can't I remember her name now? She shows up in the Better Call Saul finale.
Oh. Kim? Marie?
No. Marie. Yeah, Marie shows up in the last finale. Which is some
You
nice
cut out.
for her. Yeah, sorry. I just said it was nice for her that we got some wrap up there. I think
Yeah,
ultimately
I really
we do
liked
get
her
enough.
in that.
Oh, I loved it. Come on.
Yeah.
I guess we'll talk about that when we get there in 2 years.
Yeah, when we get
whatever.
to it again.
I don't know, boys. I don't know if we're doing Better Call Saul anytime soon. Even El Camino I kind of don't want to do next month, but I guess, maybe we should.
I mean,
We
I
should
want to
finish
do
out
it,
the
but it
Breaking
probably
Bad.
won't get any views as usual.
Well, it's not even about the views. It's just at this point, I'm ready to watch a different TV show. Like, I think after this Rewatch podcast, it might be decades, if not just never again will I watch Breaking Bad. I think it's been enough.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to
Really?
touch a show for at least another year.
There's so many shows that you fuckers have to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching shit again is
I mean, this
should
is
be out of the question.
we're watching it so slowly that I don't see how you can say it takes up too much time. That you can't watch other shows.
Well, I'm also just kind of sick of it at this point. Like, I've seen it so many times. I'm not really getting... But it is what it is. It's a great show. We all loved it. We just podcasted about the entire fucking thing. Do we have any final thoughts on Breaking Bad?
I mean, I already watched it too many times when we started again, but now I'm back on board on watching more. I guess whatever.
So true.
I'm just around and around, just watching it over and over again.
Okay, I think this is a very good show overall. I think it's ultimately a bit overpraised by people as one of the very best of all time. It is a very, very good show. I think it just takes a little bit too many turns that don't quite work out, or like has plot holes that don't quite hold. I prefer things like The Sopranos or The Wire, or like The Leftovers that have a bit more of like a spiritual component that I can. The show lets me smooth over some of those things.
I mean,
I like
so-
the ending of Breaking Bad more than I like the ending of The Sopranos, and I do love both shows, so...
for sure.
Fuck you.
Well, I think you're wrong. I think that Breaking Bad is definitely better than all those other shows, and the proof
Have you
is
seen
right
all of
there.
those other shows? You've seen all of those other shows?
Sopranos, and what's the other one?
The Wire.
The Wire.
Well, I've seen most of The Wire. I gotta watch that final season at some point. But yeah, no, I can't even imagine like rewatching The Wire. That's like it's not that exciting. Come on, Breaking Bad is peak excitement, and you can watch it so many times, and there's just more that you haven't seen in it, and it's usually good, you know.
If excitement is what you're looking for, then sure.
Oh yeah, and most people, you know, watch Breaking Bad 3 or 4 times, you're gonna love it. But me and Hartsy, we've seen this shit 10 motherfucking times. Yeah, we're ready to move on.
I'm probably up to 6, so I've seen it a lot too.
And like El Camino, I've probably seen 4 times, and I don't even like it.
I've only seen that once.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen it once. Yeah.
I guess we gotta do that.
Yeah, we'll do El Camino. Don't worry. But Better Call Saul, maybe in a couple of years if we're all still kicking.
Yeah, we wait for that one.
How would we even do that? So would it be each podcast is a full season of Saul, or
we might want to do seasons for that rather than 5 episodes of really slow pace? There's so many episodes in Better Call Saul where it just drags and drags, which is not necessarily a problem, but it's hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about each individual episode for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll skip over a lot if we go a whole season, but I mean, it'll be more fun to watch a whole season than to have to stop repeatedly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if we need 12 podcasts. Well, I guess fuck, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. We've been going too long. We'll do a whole bunch of podcasts in the future over all kinds of things. Don't you people worry. Mm-hmm. But I think for the last time here on the Breaking Bad Rewatch podcast, I've been Simian Jimmy. What do you guys have to plug?
Hey guys, I made a video where I'm defending Ariel from the Critical Drinker. It didn't get a lot of views, but I think it was a pretty good video.
Is that how they pronounce the name in the movie?
Ariel?
I'm not sure. How do you pronounce it?
Areola.
Definitely not Areola.
The funniest thing ever to me, Florian, is that your thing has led you to defend the Mermaid.
You keep cutting out, E-Rich.
Dude, I will always defend those Disney movies, okay? Like, the original Little Mermaid wasn't that great, and the remake isn't that bad. Oh, shut up. You never fucking rewatched the Little Mermaid. There's no way. I mean, I haven't rewatched it, but there's no way it's that good, okay?
Yeah, I watched
it's short, though. That's the thing. The original movies of these are like 80
I don't care
minutes.
If it's short.
And the new movies are 2 hours and 20 of
the more the
nonsense.
better. Good stuff.
Hartsy, what do you want to plug?
Hartsy, my YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded in a very long time, but I want to fix that soon. I really do.
I've been saying that for months.
About your channel?
Yeah. And E-Rich, what are we going to find on Letterboxd?
Yeah, find me on Letterboxd, Revan1138, and then Twitter at TZARRUVAN.
Boys, we did it. We all became Heisenbergers. I'm so proud of us. Let's shoot ourselves while fighting some Nazis. Die with a smile on our face because Walt D. White.
While Baby Blue plays in the background.
Yeah. Bravo, Vince.
Our final Bravo, Vince. Or wait, probably not going to say Bravo, Vince.
Well, I still love it. Bye, everyone.
This is our final Bravo, Vince.
Bravo, Peter, pretty soon. Can we all admit Peter Gould is the better writer of the two? I mean, it's got to be pretty obvious, right?
I think my favorite episode of all time of Better Call Saul is written by Vince. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow!
Shit. Which one is that?
Did he write Point and Shoot? I'm pretty sure he did.
Well, we'll find out when we re-review Saul in 2025.
One day.